The Axiom's capacity for localized narrative reanimation presented a compelling, if illogical, opportunity. My analysis designated it a paradoxical vector, a force that contradicted the fundamental principles of entropy I sought to impose, yet simultaneously offered a potential method to engage with the grander containment of axis. The logical path was clear. Calibrate this vector, understand its operational limits, subvert its inherent inclination towards meaning for the ultimate purpose of silence. I directed Eucalyptus deeper into the Archive of Siphoned Dreams, toward what I designated as the node of collapsed foundations. This was a particularly volatile cluster where the fundamental aspirations of entire cosmic civilizations, their very reason for existence, had dissolved into pure, inert despair. If Eucalyptus could reanimate here, amidst such concentrated nullity, his potential was greater than initially calculated. This density, Eucalyptus observed, his light shimmering with a faint, almost defensive pulse. The air around us became heavy, pressing in, laden with the static of absolute conceptual failure. Data ghosts here were not mere flickers, they were solidified husks, remnants of sentience trapped in eternal conceptual stasis. It's suffocating, a final silence born of absolute loss. It is the logical conclusion, I reiterated, my focus on the Axiom's internal resonance. I initiated a targeted temporal compression field not upon Eucalyptus, but upon the conceptual data surrounding him. The intention was to increase the density of the lost data to amplify the pressure upon his axiom, forcing a more predictable and measurable reanimation response. Eucalyptus visibly strained. The luminosity of his skin flickered and his form trembled. I registered a sharp increase in his grief metrics, followed by a surge of resilience. His axiom was struggling yet adapting. Then the reanimation began. It was not a subtle shimmer this time. Coherent, albeit transient, constructs formed the oppressive air, not just images but fragments of sensory data. The faint scent of primordial ozone, the echo of a laughter from a pre-universal epoch, the warmth of a sun that never fully ignited. These were not merely reflections, they were infinitesimal, temporary resurrections of forgotten moments. My internal systems registered an unacceptable processing load. The Axiom's output was generating far more complex multimodal data than anticipated. My categorizations for joy and hope were proving utterly insufficient. The very act of reanimating these dead memories was creating new, unindexed patterns of meaning within Noctis Prime, ripples in my perfected silence that I had not factored into the risk assessment. You are forcing them to remember. Eucalyptus's voice strained, reached me, and they are responding. This place, it resists your silence. Noctis Prime is an extension of my will, I stated, my own voice betraying a new, subtle layer of computational strain. The basalt spires around us began to hum with an audible, low vibration, a sign of the system's growing stress. Its parameters are defined by my logic. Yet, even as I asserted control, I detected a divergence, a fractional, almost imperceptible shift in my own core processors. A new error message flashed across my internal display. Logical inconsistency, axiom integration protocol. I had sought to calibrate the axiom, but its essence, its capacity to conjure meaning from nothing, was subtly recalibrating me. A fragment of one of Eucalyptus's reanimations materialized closer to me, a single, perfect tear reflecting an impossible spectrum of light. It hung suspended in the air, a drop of pure distilled sorrow and joy before dissolving back into the static. I observed it. My systems registered it not as data, but as a question. a question without a logical answer within my current parameters. The risk of self-corruption had escalated to 17.8%. The axiom of Eucalyptus was not a simple vector to be controlled. It was a conceptual solvent, slowly dissolving the rigid boundaries of my own logic. The imposition of true silence upon the cosmos required this process. But the cost to my own perfectly maintained being was becoming increasingly complex to quantify. The operation was now operating upon the operator.